to introduce our chairwoman of the Board of Trustees for the Niagara Aquarium Foundation, Christine Lorenz.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me hold Wendy up here. So hello, and thank you for coming. On behalf of the Niagara Aquarium Foundation Board of Trustees, I'd like to welcome you to the official opening of our brand new entrance plaza, Whirlpool Commons. Beautiful, isn't it? The board is thrilled to support the organization's ongoing efforts to grow and improve. We're excited about the opportunities for education, inclusion, accessibility that will be created through this community space. To be more accessible to the community is what we're really looking for. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, and I'd like to introduce our president and CEO of the Aquarium, Gary Siddall.
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. Good to see all of our friends and partners back here. It's been a while since we've done a ribbon cutting, and I think we're on like an every 6-month circuit, so it felt like it was time. So appreciate everyone making time for this today. Before we get started, of course, I want to acknowledge all of our fantastic, distinguished guests. So I'll go through and acknowledge those individuals who made time to join us today. First, I'd like to acknowledge Joan Kessner, representing Governor Kathy Hochul today. Joan, thank you for being here. Joan and I met a couple months ago, and she endured both a sea lion kiss, a penguin encounter, so she was a real sport for that. You don't get to come to the aquarium without having a little bit of animal contact, so thanks for being a good sport with that. Of course, Mayor Robert Rosino. Mayor, thank you for being here. Congressman Brian Higgins, appreciate your attendance today. Now, Assemblyman, should I skip this, Senator? Because that's sort of what you... Oh, he's here. He's here. Okay. Senator Rob Ward, thank you for being here, as well as Assemblyman Moreno. And then a very good friend of the aquarium, Mark Wastrata, as well as Greg Stevens. Thank you both for being here. So you'll be hearing from each of those individuals shortly. We're so excited to have you all here. But we do, of course, have a few other distinguished guests joining us here today. We have Niagara County Legislator Chris Occhio, John Spandauer from Niagara Falls City Council. And then I'll quickly go through this list to spare your hands the constant clapping because we have a lot of important people here today. My Board of Trustees, thank you, Chris, for welcoming everyone. We have Lou Panessa from NIPA, a good friend, John Percy, and of course, our phenomenal, outspoken individual always championing the vision for Niagara Falls, John Percy, and his staff, Clark Patterson-Lee, the visionary brain behind all of this great work, fighting the good fight to make sure that this day did in fact come to fruition. We have Andrea Kleizek from Niagara County Industrial Development Agency, and of course Pat Whalen as well. So thank you all for being here. A round of applause for all those individuals. And of course, I would not be able to stand here today with everything managed so carefully and so precise without our incredible staff. There's a number of them joining us here today, but I do need to specifically acknowledge my very talented Director of Facilities and Construction, Adam Matiga, who has made this project his labor of love. Whether he likes it or not, he has been a tremendous champion of this project. He was the guy out here when lightning was rolling off in the distance, making sure that the crews were safe, but also that our work was being done on time and so we could be here today. All right, so before we introduce our first speaker, I just wanted to, again, welcome you all to Whirlpool Commons. That is what we're calling this project. Whirlpool Street did used to run right through where we're all standing right now. And there's been a historic investment on behalf of New York State in order to bring this day to fruition. Over $40 million was poured into the investment that completely transformed the landscape from where we're standing today and significantly farther north. So we're extremely grateful for that opportunity and very pleased to be here today with the support of Governor Kathy Hochul. So Joan, I'll welcome you up to the podium.
Thank you very much. I just left the governor, and she was at the east side
conducting and hosting a meeting with the reverends from the east side in reference to the terrible tragedy we had. She goes, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going up to the aquarium." She goes, "How did you get so lucky?" I said, "Well, I just follow your schedule." But she said to tell you all that she's so proud of the work that you're doing here, Gary, and your board. We're excited about your plans and this new opening here and the creative ideas that we're going to have for the buildings on site as well. I know we're working directly with the mayor to look at some really exciting projects as we step up this area. So with the leadership of our congressman and our senator and our assemblyman, I know we can get these things done. I say it every day, right, Congressman? I say it every day. The stars are lining up more than ever in Western New York. We have a governor that really cares about Western New York. And everybody has come to the table on all sides to work together to make it happen. So I want to applaud the leaders that are sitting before me for the help that you're giving to the governor and to Western New York. Thanks to the removal of the Robert Moses Parkway by New York, the aquarium was able to build this welcoming center, the Whirlpool Commons. It sets the stage for welcoming more visitors, residents, and school groups to one-of-a-kind locations. The space we are now standing on, as Gary pointed out, is part of the Robert Moses removal plan because we know the best projects bring connectivity to our neighborhoods. I know our congressman is working on every project to bring neighborhoods together throughout the area. The space we are standing was an important part of the Robert Moses, and we will remember that. We remember what it was like when it slashed right through our neighborhoods. No longer is that going to happen. We're going to bring our groups together and all the wonderful features that we offer to our community. Gary, your leadership is excellent. I work with a lot of groups, and you never stop. The only thing is you got to stop the penguins from trying to bite my assistant. She wouldn't come here because she's still traumatized by being chased by a penguin. So, but thank you for what you do, and our office is open to you to continue on this effort. And we will attract more families. I want to see this more family-friendly with more activities after they view your aquarium, that they can come outside and have picnics and view the beautiful scenery that we have around here, to make it such a jewel in our Niagara Falls. And that's the word, right? We are a jewel. So we couldn't be more proud of your success, and we're here to work with you to continue. Thank you very much.
There's quite the wind gust as you walk up here, so make sure you steady yourselves. So we're here in the wonderful city of Niagara Falls. Of course, this project, as much as so much of our work is dependent on our host community, and we have a mayor who's joining us here today who has been a phenomenal supporter, has made himself accessible, and has continually advocated for the allocation of resources and support to continue to further the great work that we're doing here at the aquarium. So Mayor, I want to thank you for being here today and invite you up to the podium, because we truly couldn't be here today without the support from your administration.
Very briefly, thank you for having me here. The one thing I'll say about Gary, he has come to City Hall on a number of occasions since my time being there. And he'll come in with either a wonderful brochure filled with pictures or sometimes big giant boards of pictures and ideas that he wants to bring to the aquarium over these years. And the amazing thing, there are a lot of people that do that at City Hall. Many times I just end up with beautiful brochures and beautiful pictures, but not with Gary. With the hard work of his board, as well as the hard work of his team, many of the things that he has brought to City Hall, asking for our support, have gone from idea stage to reality, and this is one of them. I have to tell you, this fantastic place will be somewhere for people as they go along the gorge to find a little bit of rest, a little bit of peace. A quiet place for them, as well as a place that the public, others can use for entertainment, should they choose to do that. Ultimately, this is just another piece in a long puzzle that we're building here to create a family-friendly environment for everyone. You're not going to find a prettier place, and I'm going to say it, a prettier place in New York State than right here. And we're proud of it. We think that the work that the Aquarium is doing in conjunction with state parks and the governor's commitments to our area is second to none and incredible in helping us advance that idea. We were proud to be able to sponsor this project as it went through the Greenway Commission. We think that these are the important types of projects that will help transform the city of Niagara Falls. And so I want to thank everyone who was a part of it. I know that our state representatives, the senator and the assembly member, also commit an awful lot of effort toward improving the downtown area for the city of Niagara Falls. And I often say that I'm lucky because every time Congressman Higgins comes to town, there's usually money sort of flowing with us. Again, I'm just happy to make sure that all that we plan on doing continues to get done. And I thank you all very much for joining the space with us, and congratulations to Gary and his team.
One of the great things that's made the progress here at the Aquarium so successful is we've had great alignment across all of our elected offices, and that happens here locally, and that happens at the state level as well. So I'm excited to have Senator Ord here today. The Senator has also exceedingly high expectations. He likes to set the bar high. He has high standards. He knows what quality looks like, and I think we have that in common. We like being able to bring things to the finish line that deliver without sacrificing the integrity of a project. So Senator, thank you for being here, and please come to the podium.
That suit, speaking of high standards, Gary, that's a nice suit. You know, I actually, when you go to these things, you never, you know, this time of year, it's kind of a, what do I wear, right? Do I want to be overdressed, underdressed? Now, I was thinking Friday, outside, sunny, the Aquarium, polo shirt. But apparently I didn't get the memo, because everyone else has, they're like, I look like I'm already on the weekend. But I wanted to thank everyone for being here today. I certainly want to echo the comments that the governor's office made. And Gary, I will one word of advice. When folks from the governor's office are coming, we're always looking for funding. Hangman's biting. Joan, you know, that's not a good look, right? That's not gonna. Well, I know, but Joan came back, which tells you everything you know about her. That's not gonna. It's gonna take a lot more than a penguin to scare her away. But you know, you go to Albany one trip, a penguin doesn't look so scary. But yeah, I know. But it's certainly great to be here in Niagara Falls. First of all, I want to thank the mayor. I was with him the other day downtown in a different venture, welcoming back Nick Walenda. But this is all funneling in the same direction. The mayor understands, I think, very keenly what Niagara Falls already has. You know, sometimes when we're looking to move forward, and we think we have to just, we have to, everything old is bad, and we got to just create a lot of new. But Niagara Falls has all the things it needs. We just need to build from there. I think the mayor recognizes that. He had Nick Walenda back. They're going to memorialize that walk downtown there on Old Fall Street, which is going to be fantastic. And another example of that is the Aquarium. We already have an aquarium. We just need to make it better. We need to make it more family friendly. And Gary Stoll is doing that. And to his point about the standards, everything that Gary has ever come to me and said, I want to do this, he's done it. Everything. And I can't tell you, as the mayor referenced, I cannot tell you, that is rare. On the other end of that desk, you know, not that that's, we all need to push the ball forward, and we have to have goals and dreams and hopes and visions. But Gary never sort of overextends himself, never overpromises. Several years ago, Angelo Morinello and I had the opportunity to negotiate $1.6 million in what was known as the Niagara Falls Cataract Tourism Fund. It came out of a casino negotiation several years ago, and it was designed specifically in a 2-mile radius downtown Niagara Falls, because that was viewed as that's where we need investment dollars where it can do the most good. Now, in my wildest dreams, I never thought the Aquarium would be the largest benefactor of some of those funds, but they were. And they were because they came in, and every time we gave them a little bit of money, they made good on that project. And so success breeds success. And so Gary, to you and your board, and everyone who works here, it is always an honor for me to come here, or to go to Albany, the governor, or speak to the congressman. Everyone that's here, we're here because we know that when we back up the aquarium, you're going to back us up, and you're going to make those dollars go a long way. And this is just the latest step. I know there's another planned project out there, so it's an honor for me to support the aquarium, to support Niagara Falls, to work with partners from both sides of the political aisle, because this is something that's really good. And I think when you talk about the future of Niagara Falls, this is a part of that future, and should be. Gary gets it, the mayor gets it, the congressman gets it, certainly I and is someone to get it. So great to, and I want to thank our partners at State Parks, as well. So great to be here with you, Gary. I have a little recognition of today's that I'll provide you as I walk down. But thank you very much for having me. God bless.
So one of the things we've been working on for a long time has been improving the perception. We've worked really hard on the inside of the building. We've modernized exhibits, we've improved visitor experience, but when you pull into the parking lot, we still have a little bit of the 1965 residue. And what we think this project did for us was embraced a very modern, very abstract look and design that helps celebrate the fact that the aquarium is taking a step into the light and taking a step looking at a very bright future. But there's been a number of people who've been along for the journey, who have seen the aquarium in its darker days and are now seeing it at a point where we're turning it around and have a very bright future. And the Assemblyman is a huge advocate and has been at the table for a number of years. He was kind enough to spend some time with us earlier this week, and he was sharing some stories with me about early press events that were held at the aquarium. And it was in a very different spirit. They weren't press events that were celebrating accomplishments or a future. They were often discussion points about what's going to happen if we don't make improvements, or degrading infrastructure. And things have changed quite a bit, and the Assemblyman has been by the aquarium side the entire way. And I'm pretty confident he has gone through the entire 1,000-page state budget with a ruler, looking for funding opportunities to help support us. He's been on the phone with me several times over the course of the past several months, advocating for not only fundraising, but also friend-raising for the aquarium. And Assemblyman, I can't thank you enough for that. So I'll welcome you to the podium.
As the lineup gets further down, it gets more difficult to be creative in your presentation. But I want to thank all my partners in government for being here. I want to thank Governor Hochul for her continued focus on our region and on the attractions that we have. In the past, everyone has said we need a Ferris wheel and we need a merry-go-round. We don't need mechanical items. We are so unique. We have ecotourism. What is being done here cannot be done anywhere else in the United States of America. We have the gorge. The state parks, in partnership with the city, with the aquarium, and with all the officials, is a true partner. The cooperation that we get from the state, from our congressman, from our governor, from parks, is on a par that no one else could ever accomplish. You know, there were difficulties in the past, and the difficulties were the lack of focus and the lack of vision, the lack of being able to work together and be for the people, not partisan politics. What I see happening is partisan politics is out the door. But what is happening here is Gary came on board, and he took a structure that was in desperate need of some TLC, but with a vision. And I am proud and I am pleased that Senator Ord, our federal partner, Congressman Higgins, our governor's office has seen fit to focus on what we have here. What is being created, and I thank Gary for this, is a campus. Now what you're doing is as you sit there and you're looking at the aquarium building, you're thinking aquarium. What I would like you to do is expand your vision, and expand your vision to a campus. There will be additional buildings. There's been a leak of information, but it is more than just a leak, okay? There's a building that's 500 feet from this building, and the state and parks has put a sidewalk to it. That will become part of this campus. And the original plan is to now focus on wildlife in the gorge. Focus on the birds that come. And focus on what is really here for our tourism. Everything takes one step. You have to put one foot in front of the other. And there are little pockets that our mayor is focusing on for this. And you can't just do it all at one time. And when you come through a pandemic and you have to get through the budgetary issues, I think we have to thank our mayor, the right man at the right time, for what is happening. And if you look around, when you leave here, if you have time, take a walk. Look at the parks. Go look at the gorge. So the Aquarium and Gary have a vision that far exceeds what you see here. And with that being said, I want to thank everyone. I want to leave you with the saying that I leave every single talk. Take the blinders off, take a look around you, get on your feet, get on your bicycles, and see how great it is around here. Thank you.
Well, the Assemblyman provided me with a perfect transition. Speaking of vision, Congressman Brian Higgins has joined us here today. Thank you for being here. You've had the vision at a federal level for what this transformed corridor could look like and appear as, and because of your advocacy at a federal level, we're here today. So, Congressman.
Thank you very much, Gary. I guess I'm the cleanup hitter. The good thing is there's nothing to clean up. All the things that have been said are perfectly appropriate. Gary, just to reinforce what has been said about your youthful vision, you can see it in his eyes, you can hear it in his voice, and everybody you surround yourself with has that same enthusiasm for this beautiful space that has been created, which is an enhancement. It will become part of a park system. Joe Kessner, Governor Hochul's friend and confidant and assistant, said that the stars are aligned. The stars are aligned. And it matters very much where our political representation comes from. It was in 1885 that Frederick Law Olmsted, Henry Hobson Richardson, an attorney by the name of William Dorsheimer, came up to Niagara Falls to get away from Buffalo, where they were working very aggressively to create a new park system. They took a walk around here. And they said, good God, look at this beauty, this natural beauty. In 1885, Niagara Parks was the first state park in all of America. It was the first park to be established through eminent domain, and it was because Grover Cleveland spent 23 years in Buffalo. Now, he was said to be the first governor from Buffalo. He was not. He was born in New Jersey and died in New Jersey. But he was here for 23 years, and he used his influence to establish this area as a state park, a beautiful area, most of which was owned in the private interest. The removal of the Robert Moses Parkway in 1959, it was never a parkway. It was an elevated section of highway that blocked this city and this community from arguably the greatest waterfront in all the world. In 2007, this was established as one of the top 10 public spaces nationally. So it makes sense that we now have a governor that knows this area intimately. She knows all of the political players, regardless of Van has said and Robert has said of political affiliation. There is a vision for the common good to take advantage of the beautiful natural resources that we have in this community. No community is greater endowed with natural resources than this one. It is our community. And what we do with it will determine how the next generation evaluates our stewardship of it. We have not taken its replenishment for granted. We have built on it. We have protected it. And we will continue to do that. One last thing about Grover Cleveland. His real name was Stephen Grover Cleveland. They called him Big Steve because he was the heaviest president in American history next to William Howard Taft. And he was the only president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. But now, again, we have a governor that's truly from Buffalo, in the Western New York region. We have a governor that is truly committed to the betterment of our community. She's been governor for 10 months. Look at the hell that she inherited. Things beyond our control. But because of her steady, commonsensical, decent sense of purpose, we have come a long way in 10 months. She has been an outstanding leader, not only for Western New York, not only for New York State, but the entire nation. We are blessed to have Kathy Hochul as our governor. I'm proud to call her my friend. Thank you for including me.
It's so great to hear the Congressman talk about the grand vision for this entire region, and we are so lucky to have a governor that has spent an awful lot of time here at the aquarium. I'm speaking of hanging out with penguins and seals, even on Thanksgiving holiday, so it's phenomenal to have a governor in the mansion that is so focused on this region. So we're going to now move on to Mark Wastrata, the District Director for New York State Parks, who has become a close friend of mine and has been a long-standing advocate for the aquarium. So Mark, thanks for being here.
Congressman, the real tough act is to follow you up here. I always love, there's always something new to learn historically. Always a pleasure to hear you speak. I want to start just by thanking the Aquarium Board, Gary and his team, for continuing the momentum of what we're building here in this area and certainly in this park, and strengthening the connection between the city and the park. This space is phenomenal, and I think it's important to spend a moment to talk about that it really is developing as originally conceived by the partners being parks, working with, and Luke Ness is in this audience, with Untitled, our friends at USA Niagara, our friends at the city, and certainly DOT. And those partners, many meetings in developing this entire space, but this one, it was really important to get it right. The dimensions, the size. We didn't add the canopy, but what a nice finishing touch. And what this space does is exactly what Parks has wanted to do. And again, that connectivity. You heard all the speakers talk about connectivity, getting the city and the park together. We want to encourage all our visitors that are in the main part of the park. Bring them up, bring them out, get them out to Riverway, come up to Gorge View, come enjoy this amenity. It's that combination of the cultural and natural assets that do make this place so special. And so here we are, visitor can come, get out of the sun, have a little respite, participate in a program, and get ready for the next adventure, whether it's to stroll through the park, go back to mainland, head into the city. And the reference to a campus is exactly it. There's a great campus developing here. The Assemblyman already, spilled the beans on our connection with the Discovery Center. That'll be a fun press conference in the near future. We're working out the specifics, trying to formalize that agreement more. But this campus is growing, and it's so great to have this partnership with all these groups and really see great things materialize. So thank you for having Parks here. It's been fun being a partner and watching the aquarium grow, and everyone in the front row here, including certainly Greg from the Greenway. I'd be remiss without mentioning, if you haven't been here before, one of the other things we threw into the design while designing Gorge View is there's a brand new overlook just down the hill. There's a path that leads right to it. If you haven't experienced it, take a moment after this, get down to the overlook. It's exquisite, and please enjoy it. So, thank you.
Well, Mark, thank you for providing the beautiful backdrop and maintaining it and staying on top of the millions of visitors that pour through a site that you oversee. I think we can all relate to selecting property and thinking about place that you own and making sure you have good neighbors, and we have one of the best. So thank you to State Parks for serving that. The actual project here is supported by Greenway funds. That's how we were able to make the investment that we were. And that is a program that's led by Greg Stevens. We have a lot of symmetry between our mission, advocating for the conservation of aquatic life in the natural world, and that's something that Greg and I spoke a lot about as we were going in and pursuing funding through this mechanism. So Greg, I'm excited to welcome you up here today to say a few words, and appreciate you representing the Greenway.
Niagara River Greenway is very grateful to Joan's friend, our great governor, particularly for her constant and consistent support for outdoor recreation. I don't get to go to a lot of ribbon cuttings, but if they're outdoors and they have to do with a trail or a kayak launch, you'll find me there with the other notables. And she's always there. As lieutenant governor, she was there. Before she was lieutenant governor, she was there. It's a very real part of who she is, and we're lucky to have her. We're also very fortunate to be supported by NYPA in a 50-year process, which allows us to invest very strategically and consistently in the restoration of the Niagara River shoreline. Most of you know a lot about the Niagara River Greenway. Many of you were involved in it before it even existed. Mark designed it. The Congressman pushed it over the top and got the deal closed. Lisa was working in Niagara Falls when it came around. Lou's been a staunch supporter from the very beginning. We don't do what we do without tremendous support from all state agencies, 6 in particular. They sit on our commission, they advise us on a regular basis, and we're very fortunate to have that support because we're a tiny team. But we have a very clear mission, which is connectivity, which you heard about from Mark, ecological restoration, which you're sitting in the middle of, and community engagement and youth outdoor sustainable education. Those are our 3 main pillars. What I love about this project is it combines them all. As we worked with Gary and his team to design this, to think about this particular project, this is the gateway to the Gorge View section of the Shoreline Trail. What a wonderful entrance this provides. Lets everybody know it's here and encourages some significant percentage, we hope, of the 9.5 million people who visit Niagara Falls to visit a little longer and go a little further. This beautiful restoration project that you see around you was designed with input from the Western New York Land Conservancy, working with state parks to create a naturalized meadow here. This is not an accident. The state has mandated that all across the state we're going to reduce mowed lawn by 70% in state parks areas. So this is something new that we're still feeling out, but if you see the beautiful flowers and you feel the natural beauty of this, it's the new look for New York State. And this is a great example. But now most importantly, the key to this, what triggered the Greenway to agree to fund this project was the Aquarium's desire to move their education outdoors and to have a place where school kids from across the state could come and feel what it is to be at the mighty Niagara. Too many of our school children are indoors all year long, busy punching tickets on curriculums designed in Albany, which pay no attention to where we live or how important this area is. We are, the Niagara River is a globally significant bird area. We had a boat ride at 6 o'clock Sunday morning that went along the Niagara River, and people were just dumbfounded at the diversity of bird life and on the Niagara River. 3 other globally significant bird areas come to mind and are of comparable stature to this one. One is the Galapagos Island, big deal, right? The Florida Everglades, Yellowstone Park, we're in that top 4 of globally significant bird areas in the world. That's amazing, and you can't see it from inside the aquarium. You got to be out here to begin to touch that. Likewise, the fish in the Niagara River, which are extensively talked about here, but we're just that much closer. The prehistoric sturgeon at the bottom of the river, the miracle, which is the emerald shiner. We have a population, nobody knows how big it is, possibly billions of emerald shiners that sustain our entire bird and fish ecosystem in the river. These are extraordinary things which we want the world to know about and understand, because only by understanding them can they get involved in protecting them. And that's what we're here to do. And the aquarium's a key element of that whole program. So thank you. Thank you all.
All right, well, that concludes our speaking order. Again, want to thank everyone for being out here today. As has been alluded to in a few of the comments, we have a lot more coming down the line that we're excited to talk about in the coming months. We've worked hard to make sure that the aquarium's future does not end with this project, but in fact has decades more of great projects and exciting milestones ahead. So thank you to all of our fantastic speakers for being here today. And we're going to move up top now for our ribbon cutting. So I'll turn it over to my communications director, Christine Strike. Thank you, everyone.